welcome. We come in peace. We come in peace. I want to thank Larry for the great advertising on Sunday night. And also thank Larry for actually having us here for the counter opinion. We do really appreciate it. Thank you, Safra. Thank you, Mark Bird, also for letting us be here. And also thanks to one of the fallen of cloud computing, Chuck Phillips, who is also very kind to us always. Thank you very much. You know, it's amazing for us when we come here, we come to this conference. It is a counter opinion, and it is a little bit different, and we do come with the consciousness that we're coming in peace, because the idea is very simple. We are the cloud people. We're the cloud people, and because we're the cloud people, we're a peaceful people. We're not attacking anybody's book here, okay? We're not going to go after software. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do something important. You know, the reason that we're here today is we're here to motivate you, to entertain you, to excite you, and to open a door for you and to show you the potential of a new world. And that new world is the world of cloud computing. And what I hope to do with all of you over the next hour is to do exactly that, to open that door and bring all of us through it, a door into the future, to show you some new technology, some new ideas, and something very, very different. I'm not going to show you new computers that are taller than I am. Okay? I'm not going to show you clouds in a box, because clouds are not in a box. They're not in a box. They never were in a box. They never will be in a box. That's the whole idea. Is that we want to do something different with you. We want to excite you. We want to motivate you. We want to show you the best of both worlds. That's our vision for today, and I hope we do that for you. Before I start, Salesforce.com is a public company. We're traded on the New York Stock Exchange, ticker on CRM, like many of you know. And this is our safe harbor statement. So if you haven't seen me do a presentation before, here it is. You can also find it on the internet, and you can find it on our website as well. Look, I was at Oracle for 13 years, left my job 12 years ago now, kind of amazing, to do one thing, to have a mission, to be a catalyst, a driver, an evangelist of the next generation of computing. And that's what we do with a lot of passion, a lot of energy, and we're very excited because we're the first cloud company now to exceed $1.5 billion in revenue. We're number 4 on the Fortune 100 fastest growing companies in 2010. And we've had great growth in our customers. Now we have almost 83,000 customers around the world. Our message is very, very, very simple. We're going to show that to you today. I'm going to show you our message. Number 1, applications are moving to the cloud. We've been talking about that for a decade. You don't have to buy software, you don't have to buy hardware, you don't have to have hardware and software engineered to work together, because it is together, right? I don't completely understand that, but I'm sure it's very exciting. And not only are applications moving to the cloud, huge shift going on. Platforms are moving to the cloud now. So if you look at what's going on with Salesforce, with Amazon, even with Microsoft, with Windows Azure, with IBM, with Facebook, 500 million people on Facebook, but it's a platform. It's not just an application. You can write software to run on Facebook, Twitter. These are platforms moving into the cloud as well. And collaboration is moving into the cloud, and we're going to emphasize that in today's presentation. And the huge driver here is Facebook. 1 billion people soon to be on Facebook, changing how we collaborate in our personal lives around photos and all kinds of great stuff. And we're going to show you how to bring that into your enterprise and transform your enterprise. And we've seen that also with Twitter. We've seen that with a lot of exciting cloud computing apps. And the other great thing about the cloud, and I think this is really important, is when I do presentations all over the world, I like to ask, how many of the people in the room have more than 1,000 employees? How many less than 1,000 employees? And the reason I like to do that is it's always about half and half, if you've been to my presentations before, because I love reaching down to the startups and to the largest and most important companies in the world, and we have a CEO of one of those companies here today, and they're running on the same services, the same servers, the same capabilities, with these proven models now for over a decade. Amazing. The cloud serves companies of every size. It's about democracy. It's not about the very rich. It's not about the elitists. It's not about kind of this the cult of the high end. It's about democratization of computing, which is far overdue for every country, not just the rich, but also the developing. And it can reach the biggest and most important companies in the world. Salesforce today is the global enterprise standard for cloud computing. We run some of the largest, most important implementations in the world. 150,000 users at Japan Post. You're going to see Michael Dell in a few minutes. 30,000 users at Dell, and many, many other large implementations. And thousands of customers, just like you, who are Oracle customers, thousands of Oracle customers have found the best of both worlds. We have advertising all over the city, at the bus stops and the billboards, saying that you can make these things work together. Now, I know there's a lot of discussion at this conference. I know that there was a debate. I know that there was some anger on stage on Sunday night. What is cloud computing? What is it? Is it the Amazon cloud? Is it the Salesforce cloud? Let me give you our definition of cloud computing. It's multi-tenant. That means it's a shared architecture. That gives you the efficiency. I'm going to talk about that in a second. It's much, much faster. It's half the cost. IDC says it's 5 times faster than half the cost. It's pay as you go. It's not $1 million to start. It starts with you. It grows as you need to grow, and it comes down as you need to grow. As you need to come down. A lot of our customers in the recession needed to come down. Well, some of them need to go up. Our pricing can work with our customers in real time with their business. And it's elastic. It can go up very, very high, or it can go all the way down. That's the power of cloud computing. Cloud computing is extremely efficient. You know, as I mentioned, Salesforce.com has 83,000 customers. 83,000. You know, those 83,000 customers, I was having this conversation with another executive in our industry, a guy named Kraig Mundy. He's a senior VP at Microsoft. We're at the World Economic Forum in Davos. That's a place where, you know, the kind of big poobahs get together in January. And I said, Kraig, let me ask you a question. You know, we've got about 83,000 customers now. He goes, I know, Mark. He goes, well, Kraig, let me ask you a question. If Salesforce.com did not exist, for those 83,000 customers and the approximately 300,000 apps that they run on our infrastructure, how many PCs, how many servers do you think that they would have had to buy? Or how many of those big, you know, double XL, extra logic things would they have to buy? He goes, well, probably at least one, you know, per customer, and probably about one per app. So he said maybe 200,000 or 300,000, probably said at least 100,000 servers. He said, I agree with you. He said, I've been doing this a long time. I said, for those 83,000 customers, if Salesforce did not exist, they'd probably have hundreds of thousands of servers. Because not only do they need their primary computer, they need disaster recovery, they need backup, they need sandboxes. So it's probably several 100,000 computers for those 83,000 computers. I said, Kraig, do you know this? Salesforce.com does it all on 1,500 Dell PCs. Pretty amazing. 1,500 Dell PCs for 83,000 customers. 1,500 PCs, and another 1,500 for backup and redundancy and fault tolerance and mirroring and all of that. Because the power is in the efficiency and the sharing model and in the computer science of the software. And you can see it in other technologies. You can see it in Google. You can see it in Amazon. You can see it in a lot of shared systems. And when you apply that to our model, you get this tremendous efficiency. You look at those 1,500 PCs and think about it like this. On the other side of those hundreds of thousands of computers that were not purchased, what would have been the emissions? What would have been the CO2 output? Salesforce today delivers about 0.03 grams of CO2 per transaction. So we do about 350 million transactions a day for our customers. We do that at approximately 5 nines of reliability. You can see that on our website, which is trust.salesforce.com, which gives you a window into our data centers. But this is where the rubber starts to hit the road, where you look at a big change in the emissions. You know, did you know that data centers are one of the biggest new categories of emissions in the world? You probably all know them. See, what we need, ladies and gentlemen, is we need a cloud computing test. We need to look, are we buying, when we talk about cloud, are we buying more hardware and software? Are upgrades happening automatically, or is it about this mysterious patch disk that patches everything for you? Or is it just seamless the way it is on the internet? When we log on to Google, maybe we see the new homepage. We don't have to patch anything for that. Is it scaling? Is it instant scale? Is it democratic? Is it reaching small, medium, and large businesses alike? Does it have an integrated app marketplace the way Apple's has its app store? So with one click, you can just add in new software? Or are you still having to do manual integration? And what is the energy efficiency? You see, ladies and gentlemen, we need a cloud computing test. We need to look at these categories. We need to look at the very basic elements of what is the cloud. What I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, is beware of the false cloud. Because the false cloud is not efficient. It is not democratic. It is not economical. Beware of the false cloud. Beware of the false cloud. And when I tweeted that in the middle of Larry's presentation on Sunday night, Werner Vogels, the Chief Technology Officer at Amazon.com, I said, my Twitter ID is @Benioff. He goes, litmus test. If you have to buy more hardware just to get started, it is not a cloud. Well, I guess Amazon sides with Salesforce, it turns out. It's not about more hardware. It's not about more software. It's not about more energy. It's about a new way to think about computing, and you know what? We've been broadly recognized by the industry for these ideas over the last decade. Broad recognition by those who cite innovation. And it's not for us just a new technology model or a new business model. We even have a new social model, a new philanthropic model. When we started our company, we took 1% of our equity, 1% of our profit, 1% of our time, and put it into a 501c3 public charity. Very easy, because we had no profit, we had no employees, we had no equity. Very easy. But today, we actually have a big, thriving company, as I just went through, and we delivered this year 200,000 hours of community service. Our employees get 4 days a year, four hours every month, or 6 days a year paid for volunteerism in addition to their paid time off. We've given over $20 million in grants so far, and we run nonprofits and NGOs for free. So if you're a nonprofit or you're a non-governmental organization, you do not pay to use Salesforce, and we have over 8,000 of those all around the world. You can find out about that at sharethemodel.org. You can read about my books, which Larry was highlighting in his presentation. And Larry, it's not called Way Behind the Cloud, it's called Behind the Cloud. Okay? Cute. Very cute. Appreciate it. Book sales went up Sunday. Appreciate that. Okay? It's got a great rating on Amazon.com. Look, what I love about our industry is very simple. It's changing all the time. It's changing, it's changing, it's changing. It is never the same. It's always getting lower cost and easier to use. That is the power of our industry. Doesn't everyone agree? Isn't that why we're all in the industry? Because we love to change. Went from the mainframe to the mini, from the mini to the client server, from the client server to the desktop. And then we went from the desktop internet into the mobile internet, and then we went from the mobile internet into the Exalogic, Logic, big server thing. No. Wrong! That is not, that is not what's happening. Let's talk about what is happening, just between us. Let's talk about what is happening. Last year, something amazing happened. Social networking users passed email users. How many people here have a Facebook account? How many people here have a Twitter account? Raise your hands. Amazing, right? Social networking users passed email users last year. What people are doing on the internet has changed. What people are doing on the internet has changed. Look at this. Broad change in internet usage. What are they doing? Facebook, YouTube, video. Where people are spending their time on the internet has changed. Go look at ComScore. Look at the data. It's amazing. And a lot of the first generation websites have dropped away. And the next generation websites, we know this is where we're spending our time. And it's not just what they're doing on the internet today, but it's how they're doing it. Look at this incredible growth of smartphones. How many people here have a mobile device with them that's a smartphone that can operate applications? Raise your hand if you have one of these. And how many people are like I am, a psychopath, they have one in each pocket? Raise your hand if you have two. Thank you. Right? Session afterwards, got some group therapy later. Lots of mobility in the room. You know, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying is very simple. Things are changing in our industry. It doesn't matter what you hear at this conference or any conference. There is a fundamental shift going on in computing, and even in cloud computing, we are moving from cloud 1 to cloud 2. We are moving from those first-generation leaders in cloud computing, Amazon and eBay and Google, that we patterned our own company after, and now we are in awe of Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and their real-time and their collaboration and their mobility. You know, when I was at Oracle in 1998, and I was sitting in my office at the top of, Oracle Tower, looking out over Oracle Parkway and Oracle parking lot and all the Oracle people, I said, when I was using the software of Amazon.com, why isn't all enterprise software like Amazon? Why are we still writing software and building computers as if the internet does not exist? It makes no sense, because the internet does exist. And Amazon.com proved in the mid to late 90s that you did not have to upgrade, you did not have to update, that you could scale, that it was easy, that there was a better way. Today, I don't even ask that question anymore. I ask a harder question. I ask the question of, why isn't all enterprise software like Facebook? Because a lot happens in our industry in 10 years. From 99 to 2010, if I was still asking the same question, I would be probably making a big mistake with my company. The key to success is asking a better question, and this is a better question. Because the world has changed. Yes, Amazon.com was great. I had the tab-based interface, I was pulling data out of the internet. It was great. I was clicking on my desktop. My location was fixed. My location was not really known. I was on a Windows PC, probably my Dell PC or my Macintosh, and I had to integrate all this software together. I was still buying disks and installing the software. But things have changed. Things are moving forward in our industry, because we're talking more about Facebook today with 1 billion users, and feeds and push. The information is coming at me. I'm not going to the information. The data is alive. It is active. I'm touching my computers. I'm not using my keyboards. I'm touching them. I'm touching the computers to get the data. I'm using tablets. I'm mobile. I have high-speed wireless broadband networks. My location is aware. I use Coco. I'm using HTML5. I'm using Android. And I have these application marketplaces. I mean, this is a big change. When I designed this slide, I called this the Facebook imperative. Wrote about this on TechCrunch. Facebook imperative, the world has changed cloud 1 to cloud 2. And it's not that we moved from little computers to massive computers in size, or in boxes, or that clouds are in a box. It's that the core to our whole industry is very simple. People are always overestimating what you can do in a year, and underestimating what you can do in 1 decade. Isn't that true? Aren't we all overestimating what we can do in a year and underestimating what we can do in a decade? To make this point, I wanted to put George W. Bush on the left, and I wanted to put Obama on the right. Unfortunately, my marketing department, my CMO is right here auditing my presentation. Remove that from the slide. Did not want me to offend anybody. He's very conscious of that. Put this person over here. I don't know who it is. On the right, I only got one right hand. So we are moving to a new world. We're moving to cloud 2. We're moving to cloud 2, and it's about next generation apps on next generation platforms. And that's our message with customers all over the world, the largest and the smallest. We're here to evangelize, to excite you, to entertain you, to open that door. Because we recognize when we look at cloud 2, these computers look different, they act different, they talk different, they walk different. I have a great one right here, which is the one in the middle, this Dell Streak. It runs Android. You know, it's a phone, I can browse the web, it's my window into the internet. It's a cloud viewer. Now, I want to invite someone on stage to help amplify some of these points and to help kind of communicate and articulate what some of this change is. No one has made a bigger change in our industry over the last so many decades now. It's amazing. Would you all please welcome great leader, Michael Dell, CEO of Dell. Michael, come on up. Love this new streak you got. It's fantastic.
Thank you. We sell the Dell Streak now. We started in Europe.
Yeah.
And now we're at Dell.com. And then next month we'll be at Best Buy. And I showed earlier today a 7-inch tablet. So they're getting bigger. You see some smaller ones. We're going to kind of grow the product line.
Well, it's exciting. I think we even have one of the new tablets, or a couple of them, in our demo later. You know, I was just walking around this conference. I went across the streets. I went to the big trade show. I went over there, and I went down the stairs, the escalators, and then there's these 4 Iron Man guys, and then there's these 3 computers on each side of them, and they're bigger than I am. I mean, they're really big.
That's pretty big.
But I have this idea for you. You've been shipping these computers to us that are very small.
We were trying to make them smaller.
Yeah.
They use less energy. You can take them with you, all that.
Yeah, you have these computers that fit in the pocket.
Yeah.
Have you thought about making really huge, massive, extra Dell ones like that?
Actually, we have those too. We have these containers.
That would be great.
Containerized data centers.
Put our logo on the side of that.
We can put your logo. So actually, one of the companies you mentioned up there, we deployed 150,000 servers in containers in about less than 10 weeks.
Wow.
So we can do that for you too, Mark.
That's amazing. Well, I hope we never need that many.
But if you do,
we're trying to write our software to be efficient, so we're not going to need that. What do you see happening when you look at these new devices? I mean, you've got, I think, your killer new phone with you, which is your iPhone killer. You've got the Streak. You've got your 7-inch tablet. What is happening on mobility, and what is happening with these new systems?
Well, first, let me reflect on something you said, because I think what my experience has been in the industry is when some new technology arrives that is really great for customers, you kind of stand in its way at your peril. So whether it's what you talked about with clouds and multi-tenancy or virtualization, or what we find is you're really better off kind of embracing those and figuring out how do you make that valuable for customers, even if it impacts kind of something you were doing before. Now, if you look at what's going on with mobility, we're really just at the beginning of this. So you have about 5 billion people in the world that have mobile phones, but only like 2% of those have smartphones. And so I think, during the next 5 years, most of those people are going to figure out, well, hey, I like a smartphone too. I want to be able to do all this great stuff and photos and video and access all these apps. And so I think, we're just going to see an enormous expansion.
It's amazing, right? It's amazing the empowerment that's going to happen.
And that,
those are going to need to get, how are we going to get the servers into these people's houses, though, is the thing. That's what
well, Mark, there's this cloud thing. Right? You don't put them in the house.
Now, you talk about barriers to moving forward. Have you thought about constructing barriers that are like these big kind of metal things with put big X's on them like that, kind of like, do not come here, stuff like that?
We're kind of breaking down the walls.
Okay.
So we come to peace also, and actually we sell servers to everybody, so it's okay.
That's very peaceful.
That's very peaceful. First thing they go to kill each other.
No.
It's all.
You're not attacking any of these books, are you?
No,
neither am I.
No.
So that's sacred. Those books are defenseless. They cannot be tapped. They're static. What are they going to do? Please thank Michael Dell for being here.
Thank you, Mike.
We're going to show you some amazing new Cloud 2 devices from Dell. And to do that, and to help me show you a great demonstration of what this looks like and where we are going and how we are going to get there, I'd like to bring on the stage Kraig Swensrud, who's my Senior VP of Product Marketing. Please welcome him. Kraig, how are you?
So, Salesforce Chatter is our killer app for Cloud 2. We released it about 2.5 months ago, and it has been our most successful product release ever. Over 20,000 companies using this application rolled out to their organization within 3 months. That represents about 1/4 of our entire customer base. And what's been most exciting for us is it's not just small companies and medium-sized companies, it's some of the largest global organizations on the planet. Of course, at Salesforce.com, what we're all about is customer success. And what's great with Chatter is we're not only seeing increases reported by our customers in collaboration, finding information quickly, impacts to the business in terms of sales and productivity, but very interesting, email reduction. Because what happens in all of our companies, what happens in our sales organizations, what happens in our customer service departments, that today, everybody is hunting for the information, figuring out who to connect with in their company, trying to figure out who's got the right documents, trying to remember their logon to that dead intranet website that's sitting inside the company. How do we find the information, the people, the documents, the data that we need to do our job? And that's really what Salesforce Chatter is all about. It's where Cloud 2, what Mark was describing, where Cloud 2 meets the enterprise. It's an enterprise collaboration technology that works like Facebook, but it's not about your friends and the people in your personal life and your family. It's about business. Your colleagues, the documents, the data, the systems that you need to interact with to get your job done. And of course, it comes from Salesforce.com, so it's secure and it's private and it's built for your company, and it works with Oracle, that we're going to show you in a second. Today, we're very excited to announce the next generation of Salesforce Chatter, some technology that we're going to be showing you for the very first time. Chatter, our Winter 11 release, a major second generation release of Chatter in only 3 months. And most importantly for Cloud 2, as Mark was mentioning, is that it has been built to work on today's mobile platforms. Chatter, available on every single major mobile computing platform. The Apple iPad, the iPhone, the BlackBerry, the Android, which is of course the base platform for the Dell Streak. And there's no better way for me to convey this to you today than to just go right into the demo. So if we can, let's go ahead and bring up the demonstration of Salesforce Chatter. Now I know some of you in the room are not customers of Salesforce. If you were, you would log on to the web application and see something that looks like this, which is the web UI of Salesforce. We run applications for sales and customer service, so many other departments inside of enterprises. You can see you can just select the app you want to use right here. And when we select an app, like today we're going to use the sales app, you can see the links at the top of the screen change to represent the core functions of that app. So in sales, we manage customer accounts, business contacts, big deals or opportunities, even the analytics and forecasting inside of our organizations. That's what you can see in the middle of the screen, all the dashboards and the analytics that we're using to track our deals and our quota for the month. Also, what Chatter brings is that Chatter brings identity and personality and collaboration right into the apps your company is already using. Take a look at this picture of Scott Thompson. Well, what happens when you click on the picture of Scott or click on Scott's name? You're brought right to the underlying business profile. It looks and acts and feels like Facebook. Why? Because Facebook has trained over 500 million users how to collaborate. You don't need to go to a class to figure out how to use Chatter. You already know how to use it. So when you status update in the middle of the screen, instead of status updating about your personal life, you actually status update about work. You ask questions, you seek advice, you share information, you share documents, you share files. So Scott here is saying, how do I get access to a reference in the media industry? Something that every single sales rep is looking for. And when he posts that, everybody who's following Scott gets access in real time, sees that in their feed in real time. But Chatter is more important than just following people. If we go to bring up the list of things that we're following inside of Chatter, you can see that yes, we are following indeed colleagues around our company, but we can also follow our customers. We can follow our critical support cases. We can follow all the information around the company that's pertinent to our job. For a sales rep, we always want to know what's happening with our customers. We always want to know if they're having issues. And we see all that information in real time right inside of the feed. The new way of consuming information in Cloud 2. Here you can see the Chatter feed, and in real time you see the information that's streaming to me. You see that Nicole in marketing is flying into her patch. She's wondering how she can help us prospect. You see the sales ops team is sharing documents. There's a new discount matrix, changes to the product pricing, stuff that as a sales rep we always want to know in real time. You can see that our customer cases are actually chattering at us. A customer case is escalated to critical, and now the team can dogpile on it to resolve that issue. Our analytics, our dashboards are chattering. Even Oracle is chattering. Let's go ahead and zoom in on that. And what you can see is that Oracle Financials is actually chattering that a customer has not paid their bill. That's something that every rep wants to know. And of course, this is possible because Chatter is not only an app, but it's a platform. We're learning from the web. We're learning from Cloud 2. In the second major release of Chatter, you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, recommendations. You know that on Facebook, Facebook recommends friends based on an algorithm inside of their app. Now, recommended colleagues and recommended groups inside of Chatter. And we're taking a cue from Facebook as well on the left-hand side of the screen. You can see a new capability of Chatter that we just introduced, which are filters. The Chatter feed does not become overwhelming because you can just filter it down. Just show me the chatter directed to me. Just show me the chatter that's about my customers. Just show me the chatter that's about my big deals. And of course, the feed filters down in real time as we click. Right there at the top of the screen, of course, something that every single sales rep wants to know. In real time, we can see that a competitor has been added onto our deal. And you can click right from the feed into this underlying record. This is the data that's inside of Salesforce. Of course, this is the screen where every single sales rep tracks their big deals, their products, their pricing. They get approvals from their manager when they want to offer a discount. All that is tracked in Salesforce. But now every single piece of data in Salesforce has a feed. Take a look at the top of the screen. Every piece of data can be followed. And every piece of data has a chatter feed. If we expand that, what you can see is that this now really becomes a private collaboration space for just the people that are working on this deal. It's not accessible to the entire company. It's private and secure, and it comes from Salesforce.com. Of course, what everybody wants to do ahead of a big sales meeting is share a meeting agenda. This is happening all over the world, hundreds of thousands of times right now. Now you can do it inside of Chatter. You don't even need to download software. You can preview the latest version of the meeting agenda right here on the screen. No need to send 10 or 20 megabyte email attachments and spam everybody in your company. That's the old way, and Chatter is the new way. But the web works in real time. You heard Mark talk about the real-time web, the real-time cloud, and of course, everybody is mobile. Everybody's not locked in front of their computer, staring at a computer screen. We're mobile, we're in airports, we're on trains, we're in cars, we're working at home, we're working on the weekends. So of course, Chatter works in real time, and it's built for Cloud 2. If we can go ahead and bring up the mobile device, what you can see right here is native iPad app for Chatter. And as we launch this iPad app, what you can see is that front and center is the Chatter feed. And of course, these new devices don't work with a mouse. Your hand now becomes your mouse. You can scroll through the entire Chatter feed. You can browse the social graph inside of your company. You can see other users and who they're following. And of course, if we orient this in landscape mode, what you can see is that we have more real estate on the left-hand side of the screen. There are the Chatter filters as well, here on the iPad. We can see the chatter to me, the chatter between just people inside of our department, and of course, that exact same deal, the big deal that we're trying to close this quarter for almost $700,000. Now, the great thing about these devices is that it's an entirely new form factor. And now new things are possible. You can't download a 20 megabyte PowerPoint on an iPad. But what if you could just maybe pinch it apart and take a look at your slides and your PDFs and your documents, the same way that you look at photos on an iPad. This is the new way of doing business. This is the new way of collaborating. This is the user experience that our users and our employees expect. And when we want to respond, we can just do that by clicking with our finger, by tapping the screen. We can see the entire conversation thread, and we can post directly from the mobile device. So let's go ahead and just paste here Matt Buchanan, our sales engineer, sitting in an airport saying, well, new competitor's been introduced. Let's go ahead and beef up on competitive intelligence, change the agenda around to meet the need. And when he shares that insight right inside of the Chatter feed, when he's collaborating with his sales team, everybody knows in real time. Here on the iPad, but also other people that are mobile as well. Let's go ahead and remove the iPad. I want to show you a device that has not yet even been previewed to the market. This is the new Dell Inspiron Duo. And now when we look at this, it just looks like a netbook PC, designed to browse the internet. But one thing that's really cool about the new Dell Inspiron is that you can just take the screen of the Inspiron and flip it around. And when you close the front of the netbook, it actually becomes a touchscreen tablet. That's awesome. But it works just like you saw every other tablet, every mobile device. The entire Chatter application is accessible now on this device. We can scroll down through the Chatter feed. The exact same opportunity record, the meeting agenda that we were just looking at on the iPad, is now here on the Dell Inspiron. And when Kraig, our product manager, is taking a look at this deal, wondering how he can help, or offering up advice or help on the products that we're selling, making a post here inside of the Dell Inspiron, everybody sees that post in real time as it happens. So we go ahead and drill into the opportunity record, show the chatter feed, exactly the same thing as you were looking at here on the web browser and in the iPad application. Scroll down to the comment box and paste a comment in here. Go to bring out the virtual keyboard on the Inspiron Duo. Post the comment right from the Inspiron, and if we go back to the web browser, if we could just bring that up, please. Now, back in the office, of course, Scott Thompson, our sales rep, anytime he refreshes his web browser, all of that information, all of those comments that were just posted by everybody at home and on the road, everybody is collaborating in real time. There's no software, middleware, there's no batch updating. Things don't happen the next day or the next quarter. People are collaborating now and in real time. Now, what you can see there on the screen is Matt is saying, I've added 30 minutes for competitive. Now, do you see that hashtag that says competitive? This is something that's brand new with Chatter. You know it from Twitter. People identify topics that trend across the consumer web on Twitter with a hashtag. We've brought that exact same Cloud 2 concept into the enterprise now with Chatter as part of Winter 11. And when you click on the hashtag of competitive, you can see a search results screen of everybody who's talking about this competitor and what they're talking about in real time as it's happening. You know, for so many sales organizations, historically, this used to mean you go to an intranet or a sales portal that's updated maybe every 30 days or every 90 days by your operations team. How do you get real-time competitive intelligence inside of your company? How do you get real-time collaboration inside of your company? You can now do it all inside of Chatter. You can see the topics that are trending across your competitive team, your sales team, your department, across the entire company. And again, we're taking a look here at this competitive intelligence group. Maybe, as a sales rep, we didn't even know this existed. Well, groups are a core function of Chatter. Anybody in the company can spin up a group, collaborate on a project, share ideas, and share information in real time. Here on the screen, you can see groups for competitive, for legal, for sales references, for operations, for just regional teams. And of course, as end users, we don't need IT to do this. We can do this ourselves. It works just like Facebook. And inside of the competitive team, you can see everybody sharing best practices, what's working, what's not working, pricing, discounting, sharing war stories from the field, and everybody can learn and get that intelligence in real time. Now, check this out. Let's go ahead and bring back up the mobile device. And what we know today is that so many of these applications are actually better than the web applications that they replace. Because you know why? These devices like the Streak and the iPhone, they've got GPS chips inside of them. They've got cameras now attached to them. And here, inside of our sales organizations, inside of our companies, we're often strategizing in pockets and in teams, in deal rooms and in war rooms. We can take a look at here on the iPad, here on the iPhone, the exact same feed of activity that we were looking at inside the web app. It's formatted now for the smaller form factor of the device. And when we want to post right here inside of Chatter, we can just format our post, but there's something that, of course, we expect as Cloud 2 users. We expect as Facebook users, and that is, we should be able to take a picture of something. So Dan's going to go ahead and take a picture of us right here in the Novellus Theater in San Francisco, California at Oracle Open World. And again, we can post and we can share these strategies, we can share these documents, we can share these designs, we can share these whiteboards, we can share our war room ideas, we can share them in real time with everybody inside of our team, our sales organization, or even broader to our entire company. As we post, of course that's accessible on the device, we just saw that. But now if we go ahead and go back to the browser, what you're going to notice is that exact same picture that we just took right here on stage at Oracle Open World in San Francisco is now shared to everybody inside of the company. This is Facebook-style collaboration, but it's built for your business. And now, finally, I just want to show you one more thing, and that is, of course, that the entire Chatter feed shows in real time. But as business professionals, what is the killer app? Well, on Facebook, Photos is really a killer app. Being able to share photos and share information with our family, our friends, in real time as they're happening. Business professionals often need to send files and send documents. And oftentimes we know how painful that is. Anybody ever tried to send a gigantic email attachment out to 20 people inside of your company? You all know what happens. Right? It gets rejected, you have versioning issues, now you've got 10 versions of the same presentation floating around. Nobody knows who's got the latest. Well, with chat, as part of Winter 11, we can just share files with our company as easily as we share photos on Facebook. In fact, we even have a new application, Chatter Desktop. It's part of Winter 11. They can live permanently on your desktop, and the cool thing is you not only can see the Chatter feed here, but you can take a presentation ahead of a big sales meeting and just drag and drop it onto Chatter. Of course, you can upload this, you can share it through the web browser as well, but this just makes it easier. This is how we expect to be able to use this next generation of applications. We see it right here inside of the desktop app. We also see it right here inside of the web application, shared in real time with everybody on our team. And lastly, if we just go and flip back to the mobile devices, what you can see is that presentation that we're sharing with our deal team, it's accessible on the desktop, it's accessible in the web app, it's accessible on the iPad, it's accessible on the iPhone, it's accessible on Chatter Mobile built for the BlackBerry that so many organizations continue to use. Not only the old BlackBerry Curves, but the new touchscreen torches that you see right here. It's built for the Android, which is of course the underlying platform that runs on the Dell Stream. So you really start to see here is this is the next generation of collaboration. This is the future of collaboration for your company, but with Salesforce.com, that future is here today. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Kraig, you got my clicker? Yeah. Do not take my clicker. Do not take the clicker. We'll talk about this later. Come, thank you. Got to keep your employees in line. Okay, let's talk about success. And no greater success, we've already met the CEO of Dell. Now let's meet the person inside Dell who's actually making this happen, John Miles, VP. Come on out here, John. Not steal the clicker. Your boss is here, did a great job. Did not announce any computers bigger than me. I really appreciate that. Here's the thing. You've been working on rolling this out inside Dell. You've been running CRM inside Dell. You've got sales systems and service systems. You have all these things going on. Can you tell us about what are you doing inside Dell around Cloud 2? Where's the rubber hitting the road from an operational perspective for you?
Yeah, from an operational perspective, I've been using Chatter myself for about 4 to 5 months, and I am in the IT organization, so our use of it was around chattering about different releases, test cases, and then we went live with it in July, and the adoption has just been phenomenal. We've got 20,000 users of it, as we've indicated in our press release today, and the use cases have just gone from helping with our sales presidents and getting to know customers better, to getting better leads, to understanding accounts better. It's been a fantastic implementation.
Well, there's no better way than actually to see it, right? Because we want to put some words into action, and we can demonstrate, I think. Is that right, Dan? We've got some great demonstrations going?
Sure, I'd love to.
What's going on here?
So this is actually my Chatter profile page. This has been live since about the first week in July, and as you can see it, I'm following about 500 different users, have about 130 people following me, and yesterday I put out a chatter to the organization. I indicated I'd be speaking here, and the first post you see is from Rich Mazzaro, who's a manager on my team, and he's talking about how we use it to share best practices, tactics. Erica Bell's another person on my team. She's talking about how we're using it, around our accounts, collaborating around them, document share. Jennifer Cruz is not part of my organization, but shared some of her thoughts. So it's a great real-time use case of collaboration in the organization. And the great thing about this is it ties right back to our contacts, our accounts, and the sales force is able to really take advantage of it.
Now I can see you're also using part of our platform, which is tightly integrated into Chatter. You've got some custom tabs like Account Storm, and you also have Lattice and all these things that you've built. Are you building custom apps inside Dell using Force.com?
We actually are, and we are really looking for ways that we can collaborate around that Force.com platform. So I like to use this myself to follow accounts, see what people are doing, see if there are opportunities that they need, a high-ranking person from IT to go talk to the CIO, etc.
How far does this go inside Dell? Do you see all users using it, just sales users, service users? What's your dream?
My dream would be, today we've got the sales users on it. Your release that's coming out in October, will allow us to look at further expanding this in the future.
Yeah, that's really
So the dream would be firm-wide.
That's amazing.
And here is, as you saw, some of the followers on my page. We wanted to bring up Michael's page as well.
Oh, great.
So Michael is maybe the biggest user we have in the whole company, and he really wants to understand.
Does that help adoption, by the way?
It's been fantastic.
I'm sure people are wondering, is this actually your live chatter implementation, or is it a hack that we've done?
Well, do you mind?
Sure.
I've got my personal device. Let me go over there and I'll show you.
That'd be great. Fantastic. So this is your Dell Streak, then, I'm guessing.
This is my Dell Streak. I've been using it now for about 4 to 5 months, and this is something you won't see on most of these. It's the new Android Froyo image of it, but as you can see, it's my device, and I'll just bring up Chatter. So here is something on my home page, and as you can see, just to show how real-time this is, Michael just spoke about an hour and a half ago at Oracle World. Here are some chatterings that are being posted by employees on my homepage talking about what he's doing. Here's another one from Rich talking about some links to to Michael's page.
Well, that's pretty exciting. Dell doesn't usually demo their live systems, so we all really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No, it's fantastic, and thank you so much for letting me be here.
Thank you very much. Please thank John Miles. Well, we want to thank John, we want to thank Michael Dell, we want to thank all of you for being here today. I'm sure some of you are thinking about where you're going to hear more. We have a great booth over in Moscone West with all of our demonstrations and employees. We can show you how to build these apps. We can show you how to deploy these apps. We can show you our sales app, our service app, our collaboration app. We also have our new Jigsaw technology, which is social data. You can email me. My personal email address is co@salesforce.com, or you can send me a private Twitter message, which is at Benioff. Or you can send me a resume if you want to do that as well, it looks like, which is great because we're hiring very aggressively at Salesforce. Now, before I got on stage, I had an Oracle employee. They handed me this flag. I think they wanted me to put it on top of my sailboat. I don't have a sailboat, and it says, "I surrender" on it. But I'm not surrendering. We're not surrendering. We're keep going because the cloud is here. The door is open. We're all walking through it. We're delighted to be working with all of you. Thank you very much, and have a great show.